Okay, so our today's agenda is Linux fundamentals, architecture, and file system. Okay. So today's session's objective will be understanding Linux architectures and why Linux is essential and important for DevOps. And the kernel, we'll see some more about kernel and Linux file system hierarchy, essential Linux commands, and let's see. Okay. So Linux, as we know that it is a open source operating system. Okay, that uh, like any other operating system, Linux can also manage the hardware and the software and system softwares. Mm, and it's very well known for its security, stability, and flexibility and extendability. Means, and it is very versatile so that it can be used in any kind of devices. So nowadays, smartphones, servers, supercomputers, everything can be powered by Linux. Yeah, and it has a very rich ecosystem of the community ecosystem with very lots of distributions. So Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, CentOS, all these are distributions of Linux only. So okay, and the key characteristics includes open source. So anyone can use it does not comes with any license. Licensing versions are also there, but the most of the distributions can be is open source, and it's a kernel based. So kernel is the core part of Linux, which communicates with the hardware and the softwares. And it has, as already mentioned, it has a rich distribution. Okay? And yeah, it is very versatile. Android web servers, supercomputers. As we are also working in IT company, we know that our the underlying OS mostly is the Linux we are using. So it's a very popular choice for developers and enterprises as well. And it comes with means secure and security and stability. Okay? It provides robust security and yeah, so it's very helpful in for critical projects. And so these are some of the characteristics of Linux. Linux, we have one more operating system called Unix. But the thing is, Unix is proprietary, okay? And uh, it does not have that much rich ecosystem which Linux has. Walaikum salam. Yeah. Now, why Linux for DevOps? Yeah, because it first of all that it is very automation friendly. Okay, so we can do automation at and we can customize at very deep level in using Linux. So lots of things can be customized. Even something related to the OS also we can customize. So that much flexibility we have in Linux. So it is very automation friendly, and it's the found means it's the base for cloud and containers. So most of the cloud and containers runs on Linux only. So when we will use when if we have used any cloud utilities, so we know that in AWS, for example, the EC2, EC2, which is the compute unit of AWS, which provides the compute resources. So mostly are Linux only, Linux based compute. So it is very essential part for uh, Docker and containers and cloud. and it is open source and customizable. So sometimes for some particular project needs any uh, customization beyond the application, not it's based on project and scenarios. It comes that sometimes very deep customization is required. So with the help of Linux, it is possible, and it also avoids vendor lock-in. Vendor lock-in means we do not get means attached to a particular vendor. Means we are free to use other uh, for example, if we are using cloud, so we will not be forced to use AWS only. We can go for Azure, GCP, or any other cloud. So this can be avoidable using Linux. So that is called vendor lock-in. For some particular reason, getting attached and forced to use a particular vendor, that is called vendor lock. So it can be avoided. And cost is also reduced because due to its open source, and stability and reliability. So this is very important part for DevOps. So any automation we are doing for some critical project, that should be means stable and reliable. So this Linux provides inbuilt. So it ensures long uptimes. Okay, and because these are very tested OS, so we can easily rely on Linux. So it provides long uptimes and the performance is also very high, and which is very important for production servers and important workloads. And security. So as already mentioned, Linux has built-in security. So for example, we can see that whenever we log in into our Linux servers and we type our password, even how much character is present in that password, that also will not be able to know. Okay, so this is one example I have given. So that is a very, so like this many say means built-in security features are there in Linux, which is and permission management, ownership management. So all these are very important for DevOps, so that we get from Linux. And scalability wise also Linux can be easily scaled. Okay, we can easily, so as we know in contain in cloud and containers, we have in Kubernetes, there is one feature called horizontal and vertical scaling. Okay, so since the Kubernetes we run on our workloads run on the worker nodes, which are mostly Linux servers, so it is very easy to scale the either CPU or memory. We can scale very easily. So that is the one reason why Linux is used in DevOps, and it has a very vast ecosystem and community. Okay, we can get lots of tools. Means in Linux, we can install core Linux comes with very rich set of tools, but if we need some more tools, that is also we can install using installers like apt installer, yum installer. These are the installers in Linux, so that can be easily done. So that's the reason Linux we use in DevOps. Okay, now let's come into Linux architecture. So these are four-layered architecture basically in Linux. So in the very bottom sits the hardware. Okay, hardware can be anything, printer, hard drive, okay, monitor, the output unit, anything. So on top of hardware, we have kernel. So hardware is directly operated by kernel. So any third-party user or any program running on the Linux needs help of a kernel to means manage the hardware, we can say. Means to either to do give an output or to print or to save any information or any file. So anything will be done in the hardware we know, but that will be directly operated by kernel. Kernel is a privileged, we can say privileged component. which can do anything with the hardware. Okay, so kernel is the core component, we can say, which bridge the gaps between a user and a hardware. Okay, so yeah, and then we have a shell. So shell, we know there is a bash shell is the very basic and default one. Bash. Then we have lots of shell are there. Corn shell, which is called KSH. C shell. Okay, many shells are there. So it's a special user program that provides an interpretation when it interprets basically for from for the user, uh, between a user and a kernel, we can say. So shell, we write the scripts also in shell form. In shell script we write. Okay, and the applications are the uh, utilities, or what the application that we are running are lies on top of the shell. Okay, or any other utilities, the out of the box Linux utilities that we are running, that are all run as application. Okay. So this is the basic architecture of a Linux system. So any question in this part or any previous part?
No, the name is clear.
No.
Okay. Okay. I think all these things means you already be knowing all this part, but it's important for our course because some people not be very much familiar. So that's the reason I am doing from this beginning. Okay. Okay. Now the responsibility of a kernel. So first of all, it manages the process. Okay. So whatever is running, process is basically whatever is running. A running a program or any running thread is called a process. So in Linux, basically, uh, we can do a foreground running or a background running. So foreground running basically gets fixed to our terminal whenever our terminal is live, foreground running application will run, and our terminal will be closed, then it will be killed. But the background running processes will keep on running in the server. So kernel's responsibility is to manage these process. Okay, because it's a kernel means Linux kernel is a multitasking does multitasking. So to do multitasking, it needs to uh, switch back the threads to the running state and then waiting state, and it keeps on going. So this management of process is done by kernel. Memory management. Okay, so allocating memory to processes also, that is done by kernel, so that each process can run easily. Because if there is memory crunch, or means process is not getting proper memory, then the process may fail or crash. And it also helps in protecting unauthorized access of memory. So that is taken care by kernel. And then device management. So all the devices, hardwares are managed by kernel. Okay, so using like in um, Windows also, we know we have for hardware, there is a program for each hardware that is called means system program, or the drivers actually. So whenever we connect any hardware to our machine, to CPU, so that particular driver runs. So in mouse we have mouse driver, keyboard driver. So similar type of drivers are also there for Linux, so which kernel manages. Yeah, and then interrupt handling. So if we want to interrupt any running process or a program, So that we can do, and that is also handled by kernel. So we know that for killing any process, if for any point of time, if a process is running, means we need to kill that a process for any reason. Either the process get into a deadlock, or it became a stale process, okay, or a daemon. So if we want to kill, or want to interrupt it, anything we want to do, that we can do. So that is also handled by kernel. So we give a command called kill -9 and then process ID. This one command we use to kill a particular process. So that we are doing in our uh, in a shell, that we are running as a shell, but that is finally taken care by kernel, because we have the privilege of running the command, but we do not have privilege to kill any process. So that will be done by kernel when we will provide the command. And then system calls. Okay. So all the calls to the, say for example, either read call or a write call to a file, for example. So these system calls are given by kernel, finally by kernel. Okay. And then file management. File management like storage, access, retrieval, everything is taken by kernel. And security policies, preventing unauthorized access and isolating the running processes. Okay, so that means one process does not interferes with each other. Okay, so that is also taken care by kernel. So all these are responsibility of a kernel. Then we have this file hierarchy. So that I will show in my in the lab also. So what all these directory means. So this is the root directory, okay? Root directory, and this is also a root directory, but this and this are different. This is mean the root of a tree, and this root is a super admin user. So this root user has the privilege on all the users. So that's the reason this access is only given to the administrator or the super admin. So it can override all the access root. So the root's home directory is this hyphen root. Then we have the bin, which contains all the commands. Commands are kept here in the bin. Configuration files are kept in etc directory. Okay, all the OS related configuration files. Then home is for home directory for all the user. For all the user will be created inside home. So for example, if I am creating any user, okay, so user one, so that will be present inside the home directory, home/user one. Then where is for the logs and variable data. Okay, so many logs files are present here. For example, there's a file called var/message. So inside var/message, all the means logs we can see when a running application. And inside user we have the user programs and libraries. Temp is for temporary files. We can also use that temp for keeping temporary files. Opt is for the software. Any application we are running, it's a standard to either run keep it inside opt, or create any folder called app and keep there. So we can create any folder and keep, if we can give the permission. That means we can do, but generally I have seen in all the, I mean, by previous project, we are keeping inside opt directory, that the base software application, or creating an app folder and keeping there. And then dev is for device files. So all the uh, device files, either the hard drive or anything, we see inside dev. So for example, whenever we do to check the space, df-h command, so we can see that this dev file is shown as mount region. So these are some essential file system. Now, now we can install Linux using this command. So in my system, it's already installed. So You can try after this the session. You can try this to install if already not present in your system. Okay, it's very simple. We can we have to run PowerShell in administrator mode, and then we have to using WSL hyphen hyphen install command we have to install. So it will take some time and will show the progress how much percentage it is installed. So once this is installed, we have to restart our desktop. Okay, and after that we can uh, in open start menu we can see Ubuntu. I will show how it will look like. Sometimes it will happen that in one means one in one restart it does not works. For me it happened earlier. So again I have to open the administrator shell and install WSL install, and second time it worked. So it may happen due to some issue, but we can see. Okay, so now we will see. I'm closing. So once it's installed, it will come like this. So in the beginning, it will ask for to create username and password also. In the first time we are creating, it will ask to create a username and password. We can give any username. I have given Aramis. So that's the reason it's coming like this, Aramis, and it asks for password also. But once it is set, so it will be cached, and next time onward it will not ask. Okay, so this is my home directory, and let me change directly to the root so that we will see all the root folders which we have seen just now. So this is all the folders which I have we have seen: opt folder, user, var, home, root, dev, temp. Other folders are also there. Okay, etc. So these are the folders.
So, Abdurrahim bhai, hey, with this, can we see the different drives that we have? Like this is Windows system only, right? Like
Yes. So okay, okay, our Windows drive.
our Windows drive, what we see in Windows.
Because actually this is created in particular space. So that Windows drive will not be able to see here,
Acha.
but 1 minute. Let me in the whenever Git Bash we open,
Hmm.
in Git Bash we can see it internally uses some Linux. Oh, since we have created 1 minute. Let me show you one thing. So for example, inside this folder. So see, we can see this drive. This is Windows.
Hmm.
Okay. But when we open in some particular directory, then we will be able to see. But if we open it generic means general without any, pointing to any particular directory, then
Hmm.
it will open its in own space.
Hmm. Okay, but we cannot. If we are installing WSL in our Windows system, so initially it is under your username, right? We went to the root.
Yes,
So now inside the root, so this is a particular space in our system, maybe in C drive somewhere.
yes.
It
Means
would.
actually what happens when we install
Hmm.
Linux, so it procures some space from the C drive.
Okay.
Okay, because finally it's installing on top of our Windows. See, actually, what happens since we are using it on our desktop, this machine.
Hmm.
So we have to use a subsystem for Windows. That is called then it's called Windows subsystem for Linux. Means
Hmm.
running on top of Windows. But in the actual application in the enterprise level, so we have the hardware where on top of hardware that particular that Linux server runs.
In our yeah, in the production system or develop, they have a they don't have a subsystem. They have
Yes,
a
full
fully
fledged.
Linux system, a full-fledged
Yes,
Linux. We don't have
full
anything of
fledged.
Windows.
Yes.
No, actually, yeah, I also run this, so sometimes I wonder why I cannot see the files in D drive or the
Yeah.
C drive using
Yeah.
the C12 and all. But it's a different, totally different space, right? We cannot
Yes. It
touch.
procures
Okay,
the space from the from the hard drive, from C
okay,
drive.
okay.
Yes. So that's the reason we
Okay,
cannot
Abdul
see.
Rahman, huh? Right,
Yes.
can continue.
So yes. So this excuse me. So this command ls hyphen lrt. So I think Danishwa, you will be knowing, but Nawaz, do you know this command?
Yeah,
What I
sir.
have,
Listing. I know that.
you know, right?
I know
It's a,
only L,
Yeah.
ls hyphen L, like listing, but RT.
okay. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let's run ls. Okay.
Hmm.
Then we'll be able to understand. So when we will run ls command only, we can see the list of folders and files. Okay. But we can see the name of the folder only. But to list is down. If we want to see the list and details, we have to give hyphen L. So we can see this, the list with all the details. This is correct, right? Hi,
Yes.
hi. Now,
Yes.
now what is the difference between the last LRT and this? If we will see, we can see that this is sorted based on timestamp with the most recent in the last.
Right.
Okay, and it is not sorted. So if we will give just ls hyphen L and T, we are giving T, we are not giving R. So what is the difference now? First, let's see that. So now we can see it is sorted on the most uh, old one in the bottom.
Yeah, so it is descending order.
Is descending
Okay.
order. So to just to give in the reverse means the most recent one in the
Hmm.
bottom, we just reverse it. R hyphen R means reverse time.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So now this will be the most recent will be in the last.
Okay.
So this is the difference. Okay. So yes. So this we can see we have multiple folders here. So as I already mentioned in the bin, if you will see, we have all the command. See here, all the commands we run are present here.
And if you want to know what is the work of which any command, the details, how to use, and this.
So we can do help for hyphen ping. Sorry, command hyphen help. Yes. So to know what command does what, we can just simply type the command name and then give hyphen help. So it will give what that command is doing.
Okay.
Okay. So for example, ping, we used to ping at a particular destination to check whether any particular IP or server is up or not. Okay. So we use ping command, and these are the attributes or flags which, like for example, for ls we have used hyphen lrt. So those are attributes or flag. So for example, let's check for ls only, ls hyphen help. Yeah. So this is for ls hyphen help. So we have used hyphen l, r, and t, right? So let's see L.
Yeah, this is a long
Use a
listing
long
form.
listing format. Okay. And then R, reverse. Okay. Reverse anything. So we have used with sort by time. So it will reverse the time.
Mhm.
So like this, we can explore any command.
Okay.
So we can see some more commands. So I have created this document with the use what kind of use are we can do. So for PWD, we can see the current folder where we are. Okay, to check the current folder, for sometimes if while running application the folders path becomes very long. Okay, so to see, and here it's not mandatory that all the path will be here. It is showing, but in not all the uh, flavor of the Linux, it will not show all the full path. So to check which path we are currently in, we have to write this PWD, present working directory. Yeah. LS we have already seen to list down files. CD also we have seen, we are changing the directory. Okay. Make dir to create a directory. Let's see this command. Let me go to my home directory first. Okay. So this is a shortcut of going to your home directory. If we will do pwd, it is will show my home directory. Okay. So this is a shortcut for going to the home directory. Now I think my home directory is empty. Let's create one folder. Okay. We have created a folder called practice. Since I have created this folder, so it is showing with my user. Okay. Timestamp when it got created and the permission. So this permission actually we'll see in detail because this is very important part for DevOps. So first one is owner, and this is group, and this is other user. Owner, group, other. Like this combination works here. So this means that I have full permission of read, write, and executing. Other than me, group has only read and executing permission, and others also can read and execute. So we have created one directory. Okay, let's move into this directory and create some file. Okay, if we type only this part, if we give a tab, it will show the full path. Okay, and let's create some file. So we have created the file document1. Let's write something. So we can write in many ways. We can either open a VI editor and write, or we can just echo and pipe it to the document. We have written something in this file. So earlier the size was 0. Now should show some size. So showing size as 24 byte. Okay. So to see the content of this file, we can just use cat command to see the content of this file. Okay. So this we can do to remove a directory, delete empty directory. So rmdir will delete an empty directory. Okay, let's see. Since our let's move one folder above. Okay, I am in my home drive. So we have a directory, but it is not empty. So probably it should not delete it. Let's try. See, we got the message. Failed to remove practice. Directory is not empty. Okay. So first of all, we have to clear this directory. So we can easily create it. We can remove the file and we can, okay, let's first do it. Then I will show one thing. We are removing this document file. We have removed it. Okay. If now again, okay, one more thing I am showing. So up arrow key and down arrow key, it just give the history of command. Okay, just I'm pressing the up arrow key, it is showing all the commands which we have run previously, and down arrow key, the latest one. Okay, so now we are removing this. It has been removed. Okay. So the to remove a directory, we need to first make it empty. So but what if a directory contains many subdirectories and and the subdirectories contain many files and further subdirectories? So it will be very cumbersome to keep on removing all the directories and files and then need to delete a directory. So there is an option out here. So we can forcefully delete a directory. For that, we have to use one flag called -f. That means force remove. So that we have given here. -rf. Okay. So that can be done if forcefully to delete a directory. So this is one command. And then for copying, so we can use cp, copy files to one another. Okay, let's do that quickly. Okay. Now let's create a file using vi. Okay. So this is it's open in vi mode. We can write anything. Okay. So to write initially we have to actually vi itself has a lots of commands. So just going over it quickly. To insert, start writing anything, we have to go in insert mode. We have to type capital I. So it will be insert mode. To save, we have to do escape and then colon w, sorry, colon wq exclamation to save the file. So our file is saved now. We can see what we have written here in the file. Okay. Now we have to want to copy this file. Copy project 1 to project 2. We are copying a new file called project 2 using project 1. Like we do copy in the Windows, same thing. S- So we can see, so it is copied and written here. So now we can remove project 2. Now project 2 is removed. Now we need to rename this project 1 to anything. So for renaming, we have to use mv command. Mv actually is a move command, but the same thing we is done for moving a file from one place to another, and same thing we use for renaming also, same command in Linux. So our project 1 file is renamed to project 3. Okay. We can see it contains the same thing only. Okay. In touch we have already seen it to create an empty file. So these are
So now,
commands for. Yes.
How to transfer a file from one folder to another folder?
Okay. Okay. Sure. Let me. We are inside. We are inside project. Okay. Let us create one more folder. Application one. Okay. We have now we have one folder application one. So if we want to list down which folder contains what, uh, we can see our project contains only one file, project 3. Okay? And application contains does not contain any project, any file or folder. Now we can have to want to move. Now we are inside, sitting inside our root directory home. Okay. So we want to move project project 3 to application. Okay. So we want to move from project 3 file from project folder to application folder. So we have to write like this command. So what it will do, now see, now project folder is empty and application folder we have this project 3. So we can verify it by going to application folder also. So now this project 3 moved to this.
Project. Oh,
Okay. But while moving, we want to rename also. Okay, let's do that. So say for we are first will be the source directory. Okay. So here we are want to move this our, okay, sorry, we are already inside the application. We can move from the application also. Okay. So while sitting in the application also we can move. Let's do that. We are inside the application folder only. So let's move project 3 here to, we have to, since we are moving from inside the application folder. So first of all, we have to go one folder up by giving double dot. So by giving double dot, we are went to one folder up. Then we can write our folder name where we want to move. That is project folder. Okay. And while moving, we want to rename our file also. Let rename our file to project 4. Okay. So now it will, the file will not be named with project 3. It will be moved to project folder with name project 4. Okay. Now let's see this folder. See, this is 0. In application, our project 3 full file is no more present. Now let's move to the project folder. Okay. And here we have the file with name with project 4 since we renamed it while moving. So if we do not provide this file name while moving, so it will be moved with the same file name, but we want to rename it while moving. So we can give the name of also, that is optional. You
yeah,
can
okay.
see, so that same file is there. Okay. So this was all of this file related operations. View related operations we have seen the cat only. Okay. So cat and less are more or less same. I'm showing VI also we have seen. VI is an editor to see the content. If we open a file with the VI, that file will only open, okay, with the content, and then we can modify or do. So this is basically we use for writing any shell script. We open it in VI mode to write a shell script. So VI has its own sets of command actually to modify and do everything. Okay. Now, say,
We
okay,
normally
let's
don't use the nano.
nano we can use, but VI and nano both are almost same. Both are editor. Okay, so because again nano will have its own sets of commands, so it's difficult to remember all the sets of command. I generally use vi because vi commands I remember.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now write something in this file. Write some blah 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 things. Okay, now let's save it. Okay, now we have saved. Now our file size has also been increased. Now we want to see some lines from the beginning of the file, some few lines. Say for example, 5 lines. Okay, so we can write head hyphen 5 and then file name. So see, first 5 lines we are able to see, right? And we want to see some contents from the bottom, so we can give this tail command. It will show from bottom. Generally in app in project, what happens if we want to view any running log? One application is running and it is generating some logs. Okay, and we want to see what latest logs are getting displayed in that file. So for that we use tail hyphen f. So it will not stick to, means here if we give tail hyphen 5, only 5 fixed lines will be shown. But if we will give tail hyphen f and then file name, then what will happen? Last few lines, so by default I think 10 lines, yes, 10 lines is showing. By default 10 lines it will keep on rolling. So now what if some few lines are getting added by the application to the log, then those lines will keep on showing and this cursor will be active. Okay, this is called del hyphen f. So I think that is not present. Yeah, del hyphen fc, last lines, the generating lines. And if we will give the number, fixed number, then a fixed number set of lines from top or down we can see. This is clear, right? So to come out from this tail hyphen f, we have to give a interrupt, control C. So these are for viewing the files, commands for viewing the files. Now for searching. Searching is actually a very big part, okay, but we will see. Mm, yeah. See, let's write few more meaningful word here, then it will be okay now. Okay, okay. Now, now this is our content. Okay, so we want to search lines with the word how. Okay, let's do that. See, only that line is shown here. Okay. If in multiple lines we have that multiple lines will show. Okay, so for example, Common, anything is common. Yeah, R is common. Let's search with R. See, both the lines are showing, right? Now we want to do some case sense. So these searches are by default case sensitive. If we will give, it will won't work, means it will not show because this is case sensitive. To do case insensitive search, we have to give this command grep -i to do a case insensitive search. So in that case, it will ignore the case. Okay. And yes, so this is fine, right? The grep command. This is for searching the file with the content. So and many more things are there. Okay, we can do multiple searches as well. We are searching either with, let's search with command, command, or let's type U, or how. Think mm, single photo. No, I think it's something different command format is there to do multiple searches. Okay, so this we understood, right? Grep. So grep is to search text inside a file. Find is to search a file name. Say for example, we have around in a folder we have hundreds of directory and subdirectories. So inside that we want to say, search a particular file. Okay, that generally we do with find command. So for that actually we need to create many files and folders. So let's skip it now. You can search, you can do, if we need we can see this. Then WC. WC is for counting, word count or line count. For example, this is our file. We want to see number of lines in this file. It will show 12 lines. As we can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 lines are there in this file. So to do word count, so there are 21 words. Actually, these are considered as single words because no spaces are there. So 21 words are there. Number of characters we want to see. So 238 characters are there in this full file. So this is these utilities when we will write actual shell script or do program, write a program, then we will come to understand the importance. Now it seems that it is not very much useful, but these are sometimes very useful commands based on scenarios. Like sort is for sorting the output. Unique to remove the duplicates. Okay, these are commands we can practice. Okay, once you have installed the subsystem, you can practice all this command. Yeah, this is very important thing. Let's see this one. I think after this we can commands are we can do in the next class or This I will show what this part I will show. Okay. So regarding file permission, I told that this is the owner. Okay. So now we want to have execute permission in my file. Okay. So we can X plus. So we can see so that earlier the execute permission was not there in this file. So now what I have given, I have given the execute permission. So, but this is will apply to all the users, either it's the owner or a group or a other user. Okay, it will be applicable to all. But what if we want for some to change for some particular user, not to all the user? Then we can go for the literals. Actually, this three, this is a 3-bit. Okay, so in three, it is a single bit, single bit, single bit. So 3-bit. In 3-bit, basically, we know we can have 8 characters in 3-bit. Okay, so these we can consider, say for example, if we want to only write permission, then we have to give 4. Okay, 4 only write permission for Rameez, and all the other permissions will be removed. And now if we will see, now sorry, first one is for read permission, R for read, W for write, and X for execution. So now Rameez will have only read permission. Okay, and no other user will have nothing. Now say for example I want to change my permission to read write and other permission to only read. Excuse me. Change mode. So first one is read, that 100, that is 4. Then we have to uh, put on the second bit also, that will be 2. 4 plus 2, it will be 6. So then 6 for Rameez, and read, that means 4 for other and 4 for group and other as well. Okay, now let's see. So we can see that the permission got changed to read write for Rameez and only read for group and other user. So like this also we can granularly change the permission of any file. This is fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, to change the ownership also, we can use change owner command. Let's see that. Now we can see this, the permission is only A Rameez is having the permission for this file. Okay, A Rameez is the owner. So if we want to change the owner to root, I think I'll be able to on, let's see. Hmm. It was not permitted. Cannot change to any high level user. But root can do. Root can change the permission. So okay, to change to the root. So I am currently, who am I? Who am I is the command to check the user. So currently I am a Ramiz user. Okay. So if I want to change the user to root, so I want to become a super admin. So how I can do? Sudo su hyphen. Okay. This command will take it to root user, but it will ask for my password. I will give my password. This password is the one which when we have created, installed the subsystem for Linux. So that is this password. We have to remember or write it somewhere. Okay. So see now I have my user got changed to root. We will do now. Who am I? See, show the root user. So root user's home directory is the root. So now let's try now. See now. Now this file ownership got changed to root. So to change the ownership, actually we have to be a high level user to change the ownership of a file. Okay, be, being a means low user, low, so we cannot change the permission to the high user. So that's the reason that command failed, operation not permitted that time. So this is clear, right?
Yes, Abdul, it's clear.
Yes. So if now we will change our, say now we have become again a Ramiz user. Now let's see if we want to write something in this file, it will not allow us because now the ownership is changed to root user and root user has the permission of writing. We have the permission of only reading. So we can read, okay. But if we will try to write anything in this file, see, changing a read-only file, it will not allow. If we are writing anything, okay. Now if we will see, oh, just okay, let me see the permission. Oh, since it again change the file permission. Since this is my, I have my own home directory. I think that's the reason it allowed me to change the permission of the file because yes, because still I am the owner of this file. So this is created with my home with my username. This file I created, but if it had been by root user, it would not allow me. Let's try that. Let's try that. Su hyphen. Okay. Now we are inside the root directory. Okay. Let's create one file. We have written 6 lines. Okay. And so root user has the only permission. Okay. Now let's change our user to Ramiz. So even it will not even allow us to go into that directory. Okay. So changing the permission is a very next thing. It will not even allow us to move to the root directory. So because root user is the owner of this directory as well as the file. Okay. So this is what means by the ownership means. So this is fine, right? So
Yes.
So,
yeah. So,
How do you come out of that root user to your user? Just Control
con-
C,
control D,
Control D. Okay.
control D, or even log 1 minute. If we will write log out also, it will come out.
Okay.
A shortcut is control D. Okay. So okay, let's do this part and then we I think for today we'll wind up. Uname. So uname is a command to see the system related information. So after installation also if we will want to see that what is our the version and all, we can see using uname -a command. It will give the very detailed level information of the system, Linux and version name, everything. This version for WSL, not the Linux itself. Okay. Now we will see all these commands in the next training session. Okay. Now one thing I wanted to show is the where in the DevOps where these commands are getting used. Okay. So this chart I have given. So in infrastructure, so commands like SSH command is for uh, connecting securely connecting to a particular server. Say from this is one server. So if you want to connect to any other server, so for that we use SSH command, and then user add is for adding a particular user. These are for basically for admin users command. So using user add we can add a particular user, and then UFW IP tables is for configuring the IP and firewall. Okay, so these are generally used in DevOps. Configuration management uh, we use generally. Ansible is a bit another technology where which also use Linux, and that also sometimes we use in DevOps. Okay, and Bash scripts, Puppet, Chef, all are part of this configuration management. For containerization, we use Docker, kubectl. Docker kubectl internally uses Linux commands only. Okay. For CI/CD pipeline, we use Git, curl, wget. So all these uses in Linux commands. Okay. Monitoring, we use top command we can run anytime. So run and show you. So top command is basically shows the profile, how many users are there and what CPU and memory percentage is getting used. So that shown by the top command. Okay. By pressing Q, we can come out from top command. PS we will grep we or have already seen. Okay, awk said this command we will see further. Okay, grep we have seen. PS is for process. Okay, so these commands are Linux command, but that get used in DevOps. So since our means focus is for DevOps, so we will see the commands which we are used for DevOps particular because Linux is very vast thing. In the bin folder, I have seen lots of commands are there. So whatever is required for DevOps that we will see. Okay, change mode, change owner we have seen for security. Yeah. So I will share this document with you. Please go through once, and if anything is clarification is required, we can go through it. I think for today we are done. So any query?
No, so Saturday we'll
No,
have
sir.
class from 1:15.
Actually, I'll see. Because in Java, I have seen that people in first session only one people joined, and in last session no one joined. So I will check with them once. Means if one or two people is are there or they no one is joining, then we will move too early. It will be fine, right? From 9 to 11 or 10 to 12.
Okay.
That should be fine.
That will be fine, right? I will check with them. So after checking, then I will reschedule this on weekend session.
Okay.
So this is helpful, right? This.
These are very
Very
helpful
much, sir.
things. This
Yes.
because I to work in this na, so in
Yes.
ISC infrastructure as code, so there only in a there's most of the systems are Linux only. Like in GCP, they will have VMs. So these are very useful.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.